Pushing Daisies is a cult classic that people still can't get enough of almost 16 years after it was abruptly cancelled in 2009. Created by Brian Fuller, the romantic dark comedy starred Lee Pace, who was cast in The Hobbit because of Pushing Daisies. Lee plays Ned, a pie maker with the ability to bring dead things back to life with a single touch, only for them to die again forever with a second one. When he brings back the love of his life, Charlotte, Chuck, Charles, Anna Friel, he chooses to keep her around and suffer the cosmic consequences. One of my favorite visually pleasing dark comedies, Pushing Daisies regrettably left many unresolved plotlines when it was taken off the air. Despite Fuller's many attempts to bring back the series in another form, including pitching the idea of a Pushing Daisies stage musical, the series has yet to be brought back from the dead. Maybe one day we'll get to see a revival of the vastly underrated show, but until then, there are still many questions that keep me awake at night. 6. Will Ned and Chuck ever be able to touch? Pushing Daisies likely would have found a loophole. Part of the charm and romance of Pushing Daisies is that the two leads, Ned and Chuck, are unable to touch, since Ned's strange supernatural ability that brought Chuck back to life would also end her life if they touch again. The two young lovers find creative ways to express their affection without actually touching one another, but even so, the eagerness to see these two lovebirds being able to physically consummate their romance became one of the series' most anticipated problems to solve. Even though their inability to touch one another is a major part of the show's appeal, I can't help but wonder if the continuation of Pushing Daisies would have somehow found a way to make it happen. Maybe the writers could have done an episode where Ned's ability disappears for a day. Or maybe they could have learned more about it and possibly found a cure. Since the origin and cause of Ned's powers are a mystery, it would be easy to make something up to allow Chuck and Ned to finally hold hands, at the very least. 5. How do the aunts react to Chuck being alive? They are reunited in the Season 2 finale. Aunts Lily and Vivian standing side by side in the Pie Hole Diner. Aunts Lily, Swoosie Kurtz, and Vivian, Ellen Green, were formerly renowned synchronized swimmers, known as the Darling Mermaid Darlings, before they became recluses following an accident in which Lily lost her eye. Just when they were considering making their big comeback, Chuck was murdered while on a cruise ship, causing them to revert back to their hermit-like ways. The Pushing Daisies Season 1 finale dropped a bombshell when Lily revealed a deeply held secret to Olive. She is not Chuck's aunt, but her mother. Olive spills the beans to Chuck in Season 2, making her all the more determined to see Lily despite Ned's insistence that she remain hidden. Ned finally gives in to Chuck's wishes in the Season 2 finale, Kaplunk, when they ring the doorbell of the aunt's house, and Lily and Vivian are shocked to find Chuck alive and well on their doorstep. Sadly, we never got to see how Chuck's reunion with her beloved Aunt Vivian and Mother Lily would happen, since the series was cancelled after that. Besides mother and daughter finally being together again, there is still much more to resolve as well, such as Lily confessing to Vivian that she had an affair with her fiancé, Charles. Perhaps another season of Pushing Daisies would have helped to resolve these dangling issues, but now we'll never know. 4. Whatever happened to Alfredo, Olive's true soulmate? Olive deserved a second chance with him. Olive from the back looking at Alfredo sitting in a booth. The best, and only, waitress at the Pie Hole, Olive Snook, Kristen Chenoweth, is desperately in love with Ned, and though her love is unrequited, she doesn't give up hope that he will one day come around. The ending of Pushing Daisies has Olive finally moving on from Ned and settling down with her new beau, taxidermist Randy Mann, played by David Arquette. While I was happy that Olive was able to find love with someone new, I believe that she made the wrong choice, and that her true love was actually Alfredo Aldericio, Raul Esparza, from Season 1. A homeopathic medicine salesman, Alfredo fell in love with Olive the moment they met. Unfortunately, she was too hung up on Ned to see her perfect match right in front of her. In Bitter Sweets, Alfredo tells Olive that he will be leaving town for his job, and likely won't return. It wasn't until he was gone for good that Olive finally realized what she'd lost. Honestly, I was never a fan of Arquette's character, who was far too dopey for my taste, and I couldn't help but hold on to hope that Alfredo would one day return. A third season of Pushing Daisies would have not only been the perfect opportunity to see Alfredo again, but for Olive to realize that he is the one she was meant to be with. 3. Will Emerson Codd establish a relationship with his daughter? She seemingly showed up at his office in the Season 2 finale. Emerson sitting in front of window blinds holding a pop-up book called The Gum Shoe. Private investigator Emerson Codd, Kai McBride, seemingly only cares about one thing, cold hard cash. Yet as Pushing Daisies goes into its second season, we eventually learn that Emerson does have a soft spot in the form of a long-lost daughter named Penny. Emerson's ex had left him years before, taking their daughter with her without leaving a trace, and he's been trying to find her ever since. In the episode Water and Power, Penny's mother, Nina Robinson, hires Emerson to clear her of a murder, and in return, she will allow him to see Penny. In the end, Nina fools Emerson into believing that Penny is waiting for him in the backseat of his car, only for him to find a dummy dressed up as his daughter. Nina then drives away, as 12-year-old Penny waves at Emerson from the window with a smile. Nina didn't exactly go back on her promise, but it seems that Emerson gets his chance to meet Penny in the Season 2 finale, Kaplunk, when a silhouette of a little girl is shown at the door of Emerson's office. Frustratingly, we never got to see Emerson and his daughter back together again. Personally, I would love to have seen Penny join her dad on a case or two as his Lil Gumshoe.